Hi everyone, thanks for watching. Today's video is going to be a tutorial for my stressless test bunny. So stay tuned and I'll show you how to make it. What I love about this pattern is that it's so adaptable and versatile. If you don't want to embroider the faces like I have on these guys, you can just buy some 15mm safety eyes and a safety nose and use that instead. And then this entire bunny would be absolutely 100% no-sew. Another thing that I love about this pattern is that it's a great base pattern. And by that I mean it's basically a head and body, arms, legs and ears. From there you can change it, you can change the look of it any way you like. If you wanted it to be a Christmas gift, you could attach some bows, maybe make the ears in some Christmas colours and it would be a perfect Christmas present. It's already perfect for Easter. If you want to make a spooky Halloween version, you can make it in Halloween colours, put some stitches in here, maybe take out one of the eyes, replace it with a button or a cross maybe, and that would be a perfect Halloween gift. If you want to put bows on it, if you want to put a little bow tie on it or a hat, if you want to make it a little carrot, you could do anything you want with this pattern. It's completely up to you. The other thing I love about this pattern is that you can make it with literally any yarn. So if you've only got acrylic, that's absolutely fine. Polyester and chenille, absolutely, it's going to look fantastic. Or even in cotton, it doesn't matter. Whatever yarn you have available will work perfectly. If you'd like a printable copy of the pattern, you can head to my Buy Me a Coffee page, which is written down in the description below. The pattern's only $2 and it goes a long way to help support the channel. So for today's tutorial, you're going to need your yarn. So whichever yarn you've chosen to use, make sure you have the appropriate sized hook to match that yarn. In today's tutorial, I'll be using this polyester from Aldi just because that's what I have to hand. If you're going to embroider the face, then you'll need some cotton. You'll need black, white and pink. If you're not going to embroider the face, then obviously you don't need that. You just need to remember your safety eyes and your safety nose. You'll need a pair of scissors, a darning needle, again if you're going to embroider the face. Obviously you won't need that if you're not doing that. You'll need some stuffing and a stitch marker. Okay, so have you got everything you need? Do you have a nice hot cup of tea? All right then, let's get started. So to get started, we need to make a magic ring. If you don't know how to do that, I'll show you one now, but there's also lots of tutorials available on YouTube. So if you don't quite get the hang of it this time, that's okay. Have a look around and you might be able to find one that works better for you. This is the method I use. So I cross the yarn across here and hold it with my thumb. I make a cross around these two fingers and then pull that across and hold it with that finger there. I get my hook and I go under the first loop, over the top of the second, and I pull that through and then twist. Then I go back under that second loop again, pick that up and pull that through the loop there. And there's my magic ring. Okay, so the next step is we need 6 single crochets inside the magic ring. Now remember your stitch marker to mark that first stitch, and let's get started. So 1 single crochet and mark that stitch. We'll be doing that every round so we know where the first stitch is. So single crochet, just as a reminder, into the ring, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. And there's your single crochet. So we're up to number 2. In, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through. That's 3, 4, 'in, pull up, yarn over, pull through. That's 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the last one, in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through those 2 loops. And there's 6. Now grab that tail there and tighten up that ring. Polyester can be notoriously difficult for doing these sorts of things, So if you are working with polyester or chenille, just remember to try and keep your stitches loose if you can. Okay, for round 2, we're increasing, which means we're doing 2 stitches in every stitch around. So you'll start with 6 and you should end up with 12 stitches. So into that first stitch again, here we go. There's one. Mark that with your stitch marker. Into the same stitch. And there's 2. Three. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. And the last 2. 11. Got stuck in my stitch marker there. And 12. Okay, now you can see this is starting to curve. What we want to do is just bend it back around the right way. You'll know that the wrong side is the side with your tail and the right side is this side facing out. So we want that to be the side that's facing out as we're working. So we've got 12 stitches. Our next step is to work 1 single crochet all the way around. So you'll stay with your 12 stitches. Don't need to increase in this round. So here we go. First one, mark that stitch. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, halfway, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and last stitch is 12. So if you're counting your stitches when you get to the end and you found that you don't have the right number of stitches, you'll need to go back and just check where you've gone wrong. Maybe you've increased too many times or maybe you've missed a stitch somewhere. So just go back and double check. So always count your stitches at the end of the round just to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. So the next round is a round of decreases, which means we're going to be decreasing in every stitch as we go. So you'll go from 12 stitches down to 6. So let me show you how to do an invisible decrease. So take your stitch marker out. What you do with an invisible decrease, it's slightly different to a normal decrease. Instead of going through both loops of your stitch, you're only picking up that front loop there. So pick up your front loop and then immediately go into the next stitch and pick up that front loop again. Yarn over and pull through those 2 loops, then yarn over and pull through the 2 on your hook. And there's, you've turned 1 stitch or 2 stitches into 1. And then mark that stitch because you'll need to remember when you're back at the beginning of the round. So we'll do that again. We go under the first loop, under the next loop, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops, then yarn over and pull through those 2 loops again. And that's an invisible decrease. So we've done 2 already. Let's keep going. Under the hook, under the loop, under the next loop, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. And we keep going around, under, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Keep going around, under the first loop, under the next loop, yarn over, pull through those 2 loops, yarn over again and pull through the 2 loops you've got remaining, and then your last decrease, front loop, front loop. This can be a bit tricky because we're getting quite small now. Yarn over, pull through those 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the 2 that you've got left. So you should be down to 6 stitches now. So here's that tail from the very beginning. Just tuck that into your tail, which is what we're making here. I forgot to say at the very beginning, this is the tail that we've started on. And you should have 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so the next step is to stuff this tail with a bit of your stuffing, and then we're going to fold it in half and stitch through both sides. So we're going to stitch through both sides of the tail, but first we need to stuff the tail. So grab some stuffing out and let's do that. Here we go, I've got my stuffing here. Only need a small amount. So let's just pull that loop a little bit wider, move that stitch marker over, and just start to stuff that stuffing into your tail. You don't want it too full because otherwise you'll stretch out your stitches, but you don't want it to be understuffed either. So this is probably, with that length of polyester in there, we've probably got enough stuffing in there now. Just going to use my hook to push that in. Just get it right into the corners, or into the circles, I guess. Right into each side of it. Okay, so that looks pretty good. There's a little tail. All right. So the next step is to take your stitch marker out, back in this loop, pull that through again, just tighten that up a bit. Okay, so what we're going to do is fold this in half and stitch through both sides. So you put your hook in both loops, through both loops of the stitch, and through both loops of the opposing stitch. Which for some reason it doesn't want to do. There we go. Through both sides. And then you just do a normal single crochet. So yarn over and pull that through. Yarn over and pull through both loops. Now we do that again. Both loops here, both loops on this side. Can be a bit tricky, but I assure you, you can do it. So again, we're through the stitch on this side and the stitch on the back. And we pull that through and pull through the loops. And then for the last 2, gone through, yarn over, pull that through, yarn over and pull through those 2. So you've now got 3 stitches there. And that's exactly how you finish off your tail. And there's your fluffy little bunny tail. So now when you fasten off, you just want to leave a small tail here. Let's grab your scissors, snip that through. Just pull that through there to tighten that. and we'll use this tail later as we're crocheting this to the body. But there you go, there's your tail all done. So let's set that aside and let's start on the next step, which should be the legs. Okay, so now it's time to take a quick break, maybe do a couple of stretches, go get another cup of tea and maybe a snack, and then we'll get started on the next bit. Okay, so now with the legs, same again, start with a magic circle. So back through, pull that through, pick up a loop there and pull that through. There's our magic circle. So once again, we start with 6 single crochet into the magic circle. So again, in, pull it through, pull that through, mark that first stitch. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3. Just going to tighten that a little bit. 4, 5, and there's 6. Okay, so now we pull that tight. There we go, there's our 6 stitches. So for round 2, we're going to increase. So once again, that's 2 stitches in each stitch around. So you'll go from 6 stitches up to 12. So into this first stitch. There we go. 1, mark that first stitch. Same stitch. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's curling around a bit, so it's getting a bit tricky to get under there. 9, 10, the final 2 in that last stitch, 11, and 12. So let's just go back around and count that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 stitches. And again, because it's starting to curl, just push that around, making sure that your tail's on the inside or the wrong side of the work, and we're working on the right side. So for round 3, we're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 increase, and that'll take us from 12 stitches up to 18. So 1, mark that stitch, and now the increase. So 2 in the same stitch, there's 1, and there's 2, then 1 single, then 1 increase, in, crease, that's 2, 1 single crochet, in and crease for 2, 1 single crochet, and in, crease for 2, 1 single crochet, then in, crease for the second, then 1 single crochet, and because we started with 1 single crochet and an increase, you'll end with 1 single crochet and then an increase for your last stitch. So if you get all the way to the end of this round and you haven't ended on an increase, then you might have missed a stitch, so just go back and double check. So now let's count our stitches. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 stitches. That's exactly what we need. For the next 3 rows, we're going to do single crochet in every stitch around. So you'll do 3 rounds of 18 stitches, and I'll meet you back here once you've done that. Okay, so after round 6 and your 3 rows of single crochet, your leg should be looking something like this, and you should still have 18 stitches in the round. So for row 7, we now do 1 single crochet, 1 invisible decrease. So we're going 1 SC, 1 decrease, 1 SC, 1 decrease, all the way around 6 times, and that'll bring the stitch count down from 18 to 12. So let's do that now. There's 1 single crochet. Mark that stitch. Always remember to mark that first stitch so you know where your round starts and ends. And then the invisible decrease. So don't forget, we go in through the front loop only, not through both loops. In through the front loop of the very next stitch. Then we yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. So we've still got 2 on the hook. Yarn over again and pull through those 2. And that's your invisible decrease. So we do that 6 times. So we've got 1 single crochet, 1 invisible decrease. Front loops only. Yarn over, pull through those 2 loops. So you've got 2, yarn over and pull through 2. So that's our second decrease. 1 single crochet, 1 invisible decrease. Pull that through and pull that through. Single crochet, invisible decrease, only those front loops, pull through, yarn over, pull through again, single crochet, invisible decrease, pull that through, pull that through, and last one, 1 single crochet, and we should end on a decrease. So pull that through, yarn over and pull through. So now we've gone from 18 stitches down to 12. So let's just check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you should have 12 stitches. So for the next couple of rounds, for round 8 through to round 10, we do 3 rounds of single crochet. So 3 rounds of 12 stitches. And then I'll meet you back here to show you what's next. So by round 10, your leg should be looking like this. So just double check that you've still got 12 stitches up top, because that's how many you should have after row 10. So the next step from here is to go ahead and stuff the leg, and then we're going to do the same thing that we did for the tail, where we're going to fold it in half and work through both stitches across this way. You're going to go through both loops on both sides and single crochet those together. But for now, let's stuff this leg and then we'll get on to the next step. So remember, just grab little pieces of stuffing and work with that. Don't overstuff it if you can. Just keep pushing small pieces in rather than one big chunk of stuffing. That makes it much harder to shape it, and it's not as shapely and not as soft. When you've got smaller pieces, they're easier to shape, and the piece that you're stuffing ends up being much softer and much more pliable if you haven't just stuffed one giant amount of stuffing in there. So always just go with smaller pieces and just keep building it up as you go. Try and get into each area, each section of the leg, just to sort of push that out and shape that. But try not to overstuff so you don't stretch out your stitches. So I've still got a bit of space down there, so we'll just keep working there. So you don't want it to be too firm, but you also don't want it to be too loose either. And well done for getting this far. Doing a great job. Okay, a little bit more. Okay. So that's looking pretty good to me. A little bit more, that last little bit there just for the top of the leg. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Stitches are all quite uniform, that's what you're looking for. There's no giant gaps in between the stitches. Okay. All right, time for the next step. So take out that stitch marker and then just double check you want 6 stitches once to join this leg. So you just need to make sure you're going through both sides evenly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you just want to go in through that first stitch and then through the stitch on the other side. Yarn over and pull through. Yarn over, pull through 2, and there's your first stitch. And then you just continue on along the round. So you're matching up those stitches and working through both sides. Yarn over, pull that through. Yarn over, pull through 2. So again, both sides. Yarn over and pull through. Yarn over, pull through 2. So that's 1, 2, 3. 3 more to go. This side and this side. As you're going, it can be a lot more difficult to see the stitches you're working through, but they're there, trust me. Okay, so through 2, yarn over and pull that through. Yarn over and pull through 2. So we're 1, 2, 3, 4. Both sides again. So this is number 5. Pull through 2. And then very lastly, right at the end here, straight through both. Yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through 2. And so you're at the end of that round, your leg should be completely joined on both sides. Completely, fully stuffed and looking beautiful. So now we just fasten that off, leave a little tail, And the reason we leave a little tail is because as we crochet the body and attach the legs, we use these two tails to tie off against each other just to secure those legs inside the body. So just pull that through there. And there's your leg. All right, so now you know how to make the leg. Now you're going to need 2 of these, so just pause the video, go back and re-watch it and make another one so that you've got your second leg, and then we'll be good to go on the next bit. Okay, so now that you've made the tail and both legs, we're going to get started on the arms. So let's do that next. Okay, so now for the arms. Once again, we start with a magic circle. In, under, around. Pick that up and pull it through. And there's our magic circle. Just tighten that just a little bit. Okay, so once again, 6 single crochets into your magic ring. So in we go. Remember to try to be a little loose if you're working with chenille or polyester, just because it can be quite tricky if you do too many stitches too tightly in that first ring. It's going to be quite tight to get your second round in. Mark that first stitch with your stitch marker, and then we've got 5 more single crochets to go. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And pull it tight just a little bit. Five, and then the last one, 6 single crochets. So just double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, grab that little tail and pull that tight. There's your 6 stitches. Now the next step is to increase, so 2 single crochet in every stitch around. Okay. So there's 1, mark that stitch. And in the same stitch we go. Pull that through, and there's 2. Sorry, 2. Oh, I'm slipping. There we go. 3, 4, 5, and 6. 7, 8, 9, and 10, and last stitch, 11, and 12. Okay, so there's our 12 stitches. Remember to fold it back around so you've got the wrong side with the tail on it facing inwards and the right side facing outwards. So the next step is to do 2 rows. So round 3 and 4 is 2 rows of single crochet all around. So remember to count your stitches. You should have 12 stitches in each round. So 2 rounds of single crochet, and then I'll meet you back here. Okay, so for round 5, you should have 12 stitches all the way around, and the arm should be looking something like this. So I'm just going to grab this tail and tuck that in the middle there, just so it's nice and out of the way. So for the next round, for round 5, we're going to be doing 4 single crochets and then 1 invisible decrease, and we'll be doing that twice. So we're going to go from 12 stitches down to 10. So let's take out that stitch marker, and in we go for first single crochet. So that's 1. Just mark that stitch again. 2, 3, and 4, and then invisible decrease. So don't forget, front loop, wrap around and come through, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's 1. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 single crochet, and you should have 2 stitches left. You should have 2 stitches left, and we go front loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So we've gone from 12 stitches down to 10. So let's just double check that. Get that out of the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 stitches. So for round 6, we do 1 round of single crochet all the way around, so 10 stitches all the way around, and then I'll meet you back here for row 7. Okay, so for row 7, at the start of row 7, you should have 10 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're going to go from 10 stitches down to 8. So we're going to do 3 single crochet, 1 invisible decrease, 3 single crochet, 1 invisible decrease. So let's get rid of that stitch marker for a second. And we're going to go 1 single crochet and mark that stitch. 2 and 3. Invisible decrease, so front loop and front loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then we go 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, and then for the last 2 stitches, that's your decrease. 1 and 2. So pull that through, yarn over and pull through 2. So that's row 7. So now we're up to row 8, which is another row of single crochet, and we should have 8 stitches now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So a round of single crochet, let's do that. And this is the last round, except for when we join the arm. So we go, I'm stuck there. So we go 1, there's that first single crochet, join that, that's done. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and last stitch is 8. So there's row 8 with 8 stitches, and that's what your arm should be looking like. So the next step is to get that stuffing out and stuff that arm. So let's do that now. I'll grab some more stuffing. Can get rid of this stitch marker now, we don't need that anymore. So once again, small pieces of stuffing down into the bottom, push it right down. You can use the edge of your hook to do that as well. So you can take that out of your stitch there. And just use the end of your hook just to poke it right down into the bottom there. Just get it into all of that space down the bottom there. Okay. Just remember little pieces, bit by bit. It's starting to look pretty good. Maybe another little bit there. Just a little bit more at the top there. There we go, that's looking good. Not too overly stuffed, it's not stretching out the stitches. Nice rounded bottom there. So there's our arm. So the last step is to join across, fold in half and join across the sides. So this time you should end up with 4 stitches because you've ended with 8. So we go through that first stitch and out through the other side, yarn over, pull through. Oh, missed it. Can be tricky, this step. Yarn over, pull through, there we go. Yarn over, pull through 2. This side and now this side. Yarn over, pull through, there's 2. This side and this side here. There's 3. And last one, yarn over, pull through, and there's 4. And your arm should be completely joined on both sides. So once again, leave a little tail, fasten off, pull that through there and just secure that in place. And there's your arm. Doing really well, guys. So once again, you're going to need 2 of these arms. So just pause the video, go back, re-watch it, make the other arm, and then we'll meet back here for the next step. Okay, so now we're up to my favorite bit. We're going to make the ears. The ears are the best part of the bunny, in my opinion anyway. This is where you get to use all that colorful, bright, crazy yarn that you can't really use in any other projects, but they're going to be perfect for these ears. We want them to be as bright and colorful and fluffy as possible. If you've got that faux fur yarn, this would be perfect. Any glitter yarn, any kind of colorful, bright yarn that you have laying around would be perfect for these ears. Okay, so for the ears, I've chosen this variegated yarn from Creative Place, the baby collection. It's 100% polyester. So this is just some polyester I found at Aldi and I stocked up when they had it in stock, so I'll be using this. I hope you've been able to find some really bright, colourful yarn for your ears. Enough of all of that, let's get started. Okay. So to start off, once again, we're going to start with a magic circle and place 6 single crochet into the ring. There we go, magic ring or magic circle, whichever you want to call it. And let's start with the 6 single crochet. Again, try to keep this first row nice and loose with your stitches so it's not too tight for your first round. All right, so mark that first stitch. Done the first one, 5 more. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just one more. 6. So there's our 6 single crochet into the magic ring. Just pull that tail tight there. There we go. So for round 2, we're going to do a row of increases. So 2 stitches in each stitch around. Okay. So there's our first one there. Mark that off. And then into the same stitch we go with the second. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, last 2, 11, and 12. So that's our 12 stitches for that second row. So just go around and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, now from here, we're not doing single crochet. We're now going to switch to half double crochet, and we'll be doing 2 half double crochet and 1 increase 4 times. So we're going to go from 12 stitches up to 16. So for anybody who hasn't done a half double crochet before, I'll show you how to do that. So you yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over, pull through. So you've got 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. And that's a half double crochet. So we'll mark that stitch and we'll do one more. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. And that's our second half double crochet. So now we need to do an increase. So we do 2 half double crochets in the 1 stitch. So yarn over, into the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 3 loops, and do that again into the same stitch. Into the stitch, pull it through, yarn over, pull through all 3. So we'll just continue on with that. 2 half double crochets and then 2 in 1 stitch. So 2 half double crochets, 1 increase all the way around, and I'll see you back at the start. Okay, so at the end of round 3, you should now have 16 stitches. So let's just count that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so for round 4, we're going to do 3 half double crochets, 1 increase. So once again, we do 1, 2, 3 half double crochets and then 2 half double crochets into that 4th stitch there. So let's continue on with that pattern. So once again, yarn over, into the stitch, yarn over, pull through. So you've got 3 on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. So there's your half double crochet. So that's number 1. We need 2 more. And we'll go through the whole round together. 2, 3, now an increase, so 2 into the same stitch, keep going, 1, 2, and 3, and now the increase, increase, back to 1, 2, 3, so 1, 2, 3, and increase, so 1 and 2 in the same stitch, and then 1, 2, and 3, and the last stitch of the round should be an increase. So if yours is not an increase, just go back and double check your stitches. You might have put an increase in the wrong stitch somewhere, or maybe you skipped a stitch, maybe you missed one somewhere. So just go back and just double check. So again, at the end of round 4, you should have 20 stitches now. So let's go around and double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So as you're going, your work is going to curve. So just remember, the wrong side has the tail on the inside there, and the right side is the side that you should be working through. So just keep your tail tucked away in there, and that'll remind you that this is the wrong side and this is the right side of your work. Okay, so for round 5, we're going to do 4 half double crochet, 1 increase, and we're going to continue that all the way around. So let's start that off, and I'll meet you back at the end of the round. Okay, so at the end of round 5, you should have 24 stitches. So let's just double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, so 24 stitches. So for round 6, we're now going to do 5 half double crochet, 1 increase, and you should end up with 28 stitches. So let's do that now. Oops, stitch marker was a bit stuck there. So 1, mark that stitch. 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then increase. So increase for the second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now increase, increase, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, increase, and should be the last one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and should always end on that increase. So in and crease for the last one. And you should have 28 stitches. So let's just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. 28 stitches. Okay, so now for round 7 through to round 12, we're going to be doing 1 half double crochet in every stitch around. So we're doing 6 rounds of 28 stitches, all in half double crochet. The ear should probably end up about this big or this long. So once again, from row 7 to row 12, so including row 7, you do 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 6 rows of half double crochet, 28 stitches every round. So just double check each round that you've still got your 28 stitches, and I'll meet you back here for row 13. Okay, so at the start of row 13, your ear should be looking something like this. So you should have completed the 6 rows of half double crochet, and you should still have 28 stitches. So from here, we're going to start our decreases. So the next step is to do 5 half double crochet and then 1 invisible decrease. And I will show you how to do that if you're not sure how to do that. So let's do the 5 half double crochet first. So 1, mark that stitch. 2, 3, 4, and 5. There we go, 5. Now to do a half double crochet invisible decrease, you yarn over, pick up the first loop. Remember how we did that earlier on? We picked up the front loop of the stitch. Go back in and pick up the front loop of the next stitch. So you should have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through the first 2. So now you've got 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3. And that's how you do a half double crochet decrease. So let's do that again. We've got 5 half double crochet and then another decrease. So let's do those 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Once again, that decrease, yarn over, pick up that first loop, and do it again in the next stitch. So you're picking up the front loops only. Yarn over and pull through those first 2 loops on your hook. So you should still have 3 left. Yarn over and pull through those 3. And there's your decrease. So once again, 5 half double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now let's do that decrease again. Yarn over, front loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. And one more time, half double crochet. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And those last 2 stitches, yarn over, front loop, 4. So you got the 4 on your hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through 3, and that's your decrease. So at the end of this round, you should be back to 24 stitches. So let's just double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. 24 stitches at the end of round 13. So for round 14, we're just going to do 24 half double crochet stitches all the way around, and then I'll meet you back here for round 15. Okay, so for round 15, we're now doing 4 half double crochet and then 1 decrease. So let's do that together. So there's 1. Mark that stitch. 2. 3 and 4, and then again the decrease, so yarn over, front loop, immediately into the front loop of the next stitch, so you've got 4 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through the first 2 only, yarn over and pull through 3. So there's our first decrease. Keep going with the half double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, and again that decrease, yarn over, front loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. 1 half double crochet, 2, 3, and 4, and decrease, front loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, 1 half double crochet, 2 half double crochets, 3 and 4, and as always at the end of every round you should be ending on your decrease. So last decrease for this round, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. So at the end of round 15 you should now have 20 stitches. Let's go ahead and count those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 on the hook. So 20 stitches. So for round 16, we're going to do a row of half double crochet around, so you should still end up with 20 stitches. Let's do that now, and I'll meet you back here at the start of round 17. Okay, so for round 17, your ear should be looking something like this. We started shaping with these decreases, so it's starting to look really good now. You should still have 20 stitches. So in this round, we're going to do some more decreases, and you should end up with 16 stitches by the end of this round. So for this round, we're doing 3 half double crochet, 1 decrease. So let's do that now. Grab my working yarn. So in for the first, that's 1. As always, mark that first stitch. Okay. In for the second. And there's the third. And now the decrease. You guys know how to do this now, don't you? Okay, keep going. 1, 2, and there's the third. So another decrease. Front loop, pull through 3. 1, 2, 3, and in for the decrease. Front loop, pull through 2, pull through 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and the last decrease. Front loop, pull through 2, pull through 3. Okay, so at the end of round 17 you should have 16 stitches. Let's just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and the one on the hook 16. Okay, so for row 18 we're going to do 16 half double crochets around, so let's do that now. There's 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whoops, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then the last one, 16. So that's 16 half double crochets. That's at the end of round 18. So we're about to start row 19. And for round 19, we're going to do 2 half double crochets, 1 decrease. So we're going to go from 16 stitches down to 12 stitches. Okay. So 1, mark that first stitch, and 2, and then decrease, front loop, pull through 2, pull through 3, 1, 2, and decrease again, front loop, pull that through, pull through 3, one half double crochet, 2 half double crochet, and another decrease, 1, 2, just the front loops, pull through 3, and in the last one, 1 half double crochet, 2 half double crochet, and then as always finishing with the decrease, 1, 2, pull through 2, pull through 3. Okay, so for round 20, and this is the last round, we do 1 half double crochet, 1 half double crochet decrease. So that'll take us down from 12 stitches to 8. So here we go, last round. One half double crochet, mark that stitch, and 1 decrease. Front loops, pull through 2, pull through 3, 1 half double crochet, 1 decrease, front loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, 1 half double crochet, 1 decrease, 1, 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, and the last couple of stitches, my last half double crochet, and now the final decrease. And through that front loop, pull through 2, and pull through 3. So that was our final round. Your ear should be looking something like this. Beautiful little shape there. So the last thing to do, we don't actually stuff the ear. It's already quite soft and quite fluffy, so it doesn't need any stuffing. So now all we do is take this stitch marker out. We flatten this across the top like we have with all the other pieces. And we single crochet the sides together. You should end up with 4 stitches. So let's do that now. We go in through that first stitch and out through the other side. Yarn over, pull it through and pull through 2. In through this side, out through the other side. Yarn over and pull that through and pull through 2. That's 2. In through and out the other side. Yarn over, pull that through. Yarn over, pull through 2, and that's 3. And last one, in through on either side. Yarn over, pull that through. Yarn over, pull through 2. And there's your 4 stitches. So just check you've gone through on both sides. And that's done. So now we just leave a small tail, cut through that, fasten that off and secure that, and your ear is done. Beautiful, soft, fluffy ear, all ready to go. Okay, so you've finished your first ear. Now don't forget to pause the video, go back and re-watch it and make your second ear, and then you're ready for the next step. So now we've finished the tail, the 2 legs, the 2 arms, and the 2 ears. So the next step is now to make the body and the head. This is all made in one piece. They're not two separate pieces that you join together. So you start with the body and you join the tail and the legs and then the arms, and then we build up the head and attach the ears. So it's all in one piece. There's no need to sew any piece of it together. It's all made as you go. So grab another cuppa, have a bit of a break, and then let's get started. Okay, so we've got all of our parts made up. We've got our 2 ears, we've got our 2 legs, our tail, and our 2 arms. So the next step is to start on the body. So let's just put these aside for now, and we'll grab those later when we need them. Grab the yarn that you're going to make the rest of the body with. And once again, start with a magic circle. Under, over, pull it through. Grab this and pull through. And there's our magic circle. Okay. Once again, we start with 6 single crochet into the magic circle and mark that first stitch. Okay. 5 more, here we go. 1, 2, so we've got 3, 4, 5, and 1 more is 6. So there's our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches. So pull that tail, close that circle. There we go. So for round 2, we're increasing. So 2 stitches in each stitch around until you have 12 stitches. Get that tail out of the way. Okay. One. Mark that first stitch. In that same stitch we go again. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and last stitch, 11, and 12. And as you can see, it's starting to curl, so we just bend that back around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 stitches at the end of round 2. So for round 3, we're going to go 1 single crochet, 1 increase, 1 single crochet, 1 increase, and we'll do that 6 times around until we have 18 stitches. So that's 1. Now the increase. 1, 2, back to 1 single crochet, and now the increase. 1, 2, 1 single crochet, 1 increase, increase, 1 single crochet on its own, 1 increase, increase, 1 single crochet, 1 increase, increase, 1 single crochet, and for the last stitch an increase. So there's our first stitch and there's our second stitch. So there's our increase. So now we should have 18 stitches. Let's just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, so for round 4, we need to do 2 single crochet, 1 increase, and that'll take us from 18 stitches up to 24. So let's start that now. There's 1, mark that stitch. There's 2, now the increase, 1 and 2 in that same stitch, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, and now the increase, 1 single crochet, 2, and then increase, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, get some more of that yarn happening. And then the increase, increase in the same stitch, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, and increase, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, and for the last one of the round is, of course, an increase. So in and increase. Okay, so that's round 4, and we've now got 24 stitches. Just tuck that little tail in on that side. So let's count our stitches. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Nope, I miscounted. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. So you should have 24 stitches by the end of round 4. And then for round 5, we need to do 3 single crochet and 1 increase. So let's do that now. And at the end of this row, you should have 30 stitches. So let's do that. Oops, I keep going to do a half double crochet and I need single crochet. So that's 1. And mark that first stitch. 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet in crease, 1, 2, 3, and now increase, increase, 1, 2, 3, increase, increase, 1, 2, 3, and increase, 1, 2, 3, and increase, and last one, 1, 2, 3, and in that last stitch we put our last increase, increase. So after 5 rounds it should be looking something like this. Now it does look a little pointy at the base there, but you can flatten that out just by giving it a bit of a stretch. And also when you stuff the bunny later, it will shape out or round out a little bit more and you'll be able to pull it out a little bit more. So that's the base of the belly of the bunny. And in the next round, we're going to start attaching the legs and the tail. Okay, so at the end of round 5, you should have had 30 stitches around. So just do a quick check to make sure. I've just counted mine and I do have 30 stitches here. So just make sure you've got the 30 stitches before you begin. If you're missing any stitches or you've dropped any stitches, go back and pick them up and just make sure that your stitch count matches 30, because now that we're going to start attaching the body parts to the body, you're going to want to make sure your stitch count is correct. Okay, so grab those legs, bring them over, and grab the little tail as well. Make sure you've got that nearby so that you can grab them when you need them. So to start the round, we need to do 6 single crochet. So let's get started. There's 1. Mark that stitch. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we grab one of the legs and we're going to, it doesn't matter which side you go through because you can always reshape it. So I like to go through with the tail on the left hand side. And what we need to do is go through that first stitch, through the front way of the first stitch of the leg, and then we go into the next stitch on the body. So you're going through the leg and through the body piece, and we're joining them together. And we're joining them with a single crochet. So yarn over and pull that through both stitches, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And then do the same thing with the next stitch. Just make sure you're going into the right stitch on the other side. yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Try to keep the tension tight here if you can. And again, through the front of the leg and into the stitch in the body, yarn over, pull through 2. Once again, the next stitch through the front of the leg, going into the next stitch on the body, yarn over, pull that through, yarn over, pull through 2, through the leg and into the body, yarn over, pull that through, yarn over, pull through 2, and the last stitch. Now before we do the last stitch, you just want to make sure that the tail that we have on the leg is pulled in to the body. And I'll explain why in just a sec. So we go in through that stitch in the leg. Just trying to make it nice and clear for you. In through that stitch. And then in through the opposite stitch in the body. Pull that tail into the body there. Grab your working yarn. It's twisting. All right, there we go. Yarn over, pull that through, and then finish off the stitch. Now the reason we're going to pull that tail through is so that we can keep working around it. And we need this to be inside the body piece of the bunny. And this is going to tie off with the other leg once it's on the other side. And its tail is also going to be in the body. So I'll show you that when we get to that point. Now from here we do 9 single crochet. So just make sure you're in the very next stitch in the body. That's 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now we grab the other leg, and again I like to start from the left hand side. I'll make sure the tail's on the left hand side so that we can go across and make sure that tail gets pulled into the middle. So for the next 6 stitches we're going to stitch through the leg and into the body. So from the front of the leg through that first stitch and then into the next stitch on the body. Then you do a normal single crochet. Yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Next stitch, through the leg, through the body, yarn over and pull through 2. Keep that tension tight if you can. And again, through the leg, through the body, yarn over, pull that through, yarn over, pull through 2. And again, through the leg, through the next stitch in the body, yarn over, pull that through, yarn over, pull through 2. And we've got 2 more stitches left on the leg. So we go in through the leg, in through the body, yarn over, pull that through, yarn over, pull through 2. And again, the last stitch, again, making sure that that tail is pulled in towards the body. So in through that last stitch on the leg, into the next stitch on the body. Get that tail out of the way. yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and we're getting back around to the start of the round, so you can see where the stitch marker is, that's the start of the round, but we've got 3 more stitches to go to get to that point. So making sure that tail is in here. Let's finish the round out. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now that's the end of that round, but we're not finished yet. We need to take the 2 tails from the legs and just tie them securely in the middle. You don't want it too tight, you don't want it to be pulling, you just don't want the 2 ties to come undone. So you don't want to pull it too tight, but you just want that nice knot in there just to secure the legs, and then just tuck those tails into the bottom there. So that is the end of round 6, and well done, you've attached the legs. Look at that, they're on nice and securely and they're looking great. Okay, give yourself a round of applause, you've attached the legs. So for the next round, we're going to attach the tail. Okay, now for round 7, we're going to attach the tail, and we're going to attach it in exactly the same way as we attach the legs. So we need to, in the very first stitch, we're going to go straight in through the tail. So take that stitch marker out. Again, I move the tail over to the left-hand side so I can go straight into that first stitch. So through coming in from the front, through that first stitch in the tail, move your working yarn out of the way, and then into the very first stitch of the round. Yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and then we mark that stitch because, again, that's the first stitch of the round. Okay. Hopefully it stays out of the way and it's not going to cause us too much trouble. All right, in through the second stitch in the tail and the next stitch on the body, in through both sides. Got a nice knot in my yarn there. Hopefully I can hide that. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And then for the third stitch, straight in through the front of the tail and into the next stitch on the body there. Straight in, yarn over, pull through, stay in there knot, yarn over, pull through 3. So grab that tail and we might just attach it to where we've attached the legs. Again, it doesn't have to be too tight. It's just to secure it so it doesn't pull out of the body. So just a standard knot will be fine. Pull that in through there. It just helps to secure it. So there we go. It doesn't have to be too tight. We don't want it pulling through or tightening the rest of the body. So for the rest of the round, we've finished the other 27 remaining stitches until we come back to the start of the round. So we go into the very next stitch, yarn over, and continue with our single crochets. Okay, so at the end of that round, which was round 7, you should still have 30 stitches. So we did the 3 in the tail and then 27 around. So just double check that you do have 30 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30 on the hook. 30 stitches. So for the next 2 rows, for row 8 and row 9, we're just going to do 2 more rounds of single crochet. So each round should be 30 stitches. So if you finish that, I'll meet you back here to do round 10. So at the end of round 9, your bunny should be looking something like this. He's finally got a little tummy, and his legs and his tail are all attached and ready to go. So you should still have 30 stitches. Now in this round, we're going to start decreasing, and we're going to go from 30 stitches down to 24. And to do that, we're going to do 3 single crochet, 1 decrease, 3 single crochet, 1 decrease, and we're going to continue that pattern until we do the entire round. So once again, let's start with our first single crochet and mark that stitch. So that's 1. There's 2. And there's 3. Now remember, we're doing invisible decreases, but there's single crochet decreases. So you go straight through the front loop of the next stitch, and straight through the front loop of the next stitch, yarn over and pull through those first 2 stitches, then yarn over and pull through the remaining 2 stitches, and that's your decrease. So again, we go 1, 2, and 3 single crochet, and then our decrease, front loop, yarn over, pull through those first 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2. And we'll just continue on with that until we finish the round. 1, 2, 3, front loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. 1, 2, 3, front loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. 1, 2, and 3, front loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, 1, 2, 3, and with those final 2 stitches, front loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's the round. So that's round 10. Now let's just double check that we have 24 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. 24 stitches. Okay, so for round 11, we're going to do 2 single crochet, 1 decrease. So we're going to go from 24 stitches down to 18. So let's do that now. Mark that first stitch. 2, front loop, pull it through, pull that through. 1, 2, front loop, pull it through, pull that through. 1, 2, grab a bit more yarn. Front loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, pull it through, pull that through, 1, 2, and decrease again, and 1, and 2, and then the last stitch is of course a decrease, pull that through and pull that through. So at the end of row 11 we should now have 18 stitches, so let's just count that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 stitches. Okay, so for round 12, we're going to attach the arms. So make sure you've got your arms handy, and then I'll show you how to attach the arms. Okay, so for round 12, we're going to attach the arms. And as I said before, you should have 18 stitches in this round. So the first thing we need to do is do 4 single crochet. So let's do that. 1, mark that stitch. 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now grab one of those arms. Again, I like to have the tail on the left. And just like we did before with the legs, we go in through the front of that first stitch. Through both loops, please, thank you. And then in through the stitch on the body. Just like that. Then continue with our single crochet. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. In through the next stitch of the arm, in through the next stitch of the body, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. In through the next stitch of the arm and the next stitch of the body, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and again the last stitch of the arm and the last stitch of the body. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Now again, pull that tail into the middle because we're going to tie that off against the other arm. So just have that in the middle for now. And then we do 5 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we grab the other arm. And again, through the front of the arm, through that first stitch. Here we go. And then into the next stitch on the body, through both, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and keep going through the body. Next stitch, pull through 2, next one, and the next one, pull through 2, and the last one, in through there and in through the body. Pull that through and pull through 2. And just while we can, grab that tail, grab the other tail from the other arm, and again, just tie them off. Again, not too tight. It doesn't have to be too tight, otherwise you'll pull the body across like that. You don't want that. You just need to secure them just so that you've got your tails tucked away and the arms are nicely secured. So we've got that in there. Tuck those tails in there for now. We don't need them. Make sure they're pulled in. And then you've got one final single crochet left in the round. So we work that last single crochet, pull it through. Try not to crochet through your stitch marker like I just tried to. And that's the end of that round. So that's the end of round 12. Now you've got your little bunny is starting to come together. He's got his arms and legs and his little tail. He's starting to look pretty good. Okay, so we've got round 13 to go. And in round 13, we're going to drop down again from the 18 stitches that we started off with in this round, and we're going to go down to 12 stitches. So we're going to do another round of single crochet and decrease, and then from there we'll start to build up the head. So this is all working up in one piece. Okay, for round 13, we need to do one single crochet and one decrease. So one single crochet, mark that stitch, one decrease. So front loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through 2. One single crochet, one decrease. So front loop, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, one single crochet, one decrease, yarn over, pull through those first 2, yarn over, pull through 2, one single crochet, one decrease, one single crochet, one decrease. So front loop, through 2, pull that through, and then for the last 3 stitches, one single crochet, one last decrease. Okay, so now you should have 12 stitches. Let's just count that off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 stitches at the end of round 13. Okay, next step is to do a round of 12 increases in the front loop only. We'll start to build out the head and the head will start to take shape. We'll do that in the next round. Okay, so round 14, and we're going to do 12 increases. So we're going to go from 12 stitches back up to 24. And we're going to do that by doing an increase in the front loop only of each stitch of this round. So make sure you keep count and make sure you're only using the front loop. So this loop here, this stitch here, that front loop, not the back. You're not going through both stitches, like through both loops, just this front loop, like we do when we do a decrease, just picking up that front loop. And remember, an increase is 2 stitches in the same stitch. So we're going to do 2 single crochets in the front loop of each stitch around. So let's start that now. One, mark that stitch. And in that same stitch, in the front loop only, 2, and continue on, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and in the last stitch, 23 and 24. So we should now have 24 stitches all the way around. So just double check that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 24. Okay, 24 stitches. So for round 15, what we're now going to do is 3 single crochet, 1 increase. And we're going to go from 24 stitches up to 30. So, and now we're back to working through both loops of the stitch. So not just the front loop anymore, we're going back into both loops. So 3 single crochet, 1 increase. Let's do that now. One, mark that stitch. 2, 3. So in the next stitch, we're going to increase, so 2 in the 1 stitch, 1, 2, and 3, and increase, Grab some more yarn. One, two, three, and increase. One, two, three, increase. One, two, three, and increase. And last time, one, two, three, and final stitch is, of course, an increase. Okay, so at the end of round 15, you should have 30 stitches in the round. So just count that off and make sure you've got your 30 stitches, and then we'll start row 16. So round 16, we're going from 30 to 36 stitches. So we're going to do 4 single crochet, 1 increase. So 1, 2, that's pretty loose tension there, just tighten that up a bit. 2, 3, 4, 1 increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, increase. 1, 2, 3, and 4, increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, and increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, and of course the last stitch is an crease. Okay, so there we are. We should have 36 stitches now at the end of round 16. So now we're going to check our stitch count and just make sure we've got that 36 stitches. And then we're going to stuff the body. So let's just check these stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. So we've got 36 stitches. Now we get to stuff the body. Okay, so let's stuff this little bunny body. All right, get this stuffing happening. Push that right down in through the neck, down into the bottom. And again, you don't want big, massive chunks of stuffing. Just do it bit by bit. Make sure it gets into all those little holes and crevices everywhere. Right down into the bottom there. Try not to overstuff if you can help it. You just don't want stuffing sticking out between your stitches, and you don't want to stretch out those stitches so you've got huge gaps everywhere. You also want your little bunny to be quite firm. You don't want him too soft and too, I know that sounds counterproductive, but you don't want him to be too squishy without the stuffing in there. You want to be able to make sure that he's got a nice little belly. Keep saying he, but technically Stressless Tess is a she. But I guess it could be anything, couldn't it? It's a bunny. It can be whatever it wants to be. Okay. Push down in there. Make sure you get it into all the little, under the arms, all the way around. Just shape that little body. Push that around into all the little gaps there. Okay. It's starting to look good, but I think we need a little bit more. That in there. Just as you're stuffing, have a look at the shaping. Just make sure it's nice and even if you can. Okay, almost there. This is looking pretty good. Okay, keep pushing that in. That looks pretty good to me. Okay. There we go. Need that little tummy. Okay. It's looking pretty good. Okay. So for round 17, right through to round 22, so the next 6 rows are just going to be 6 rows of single crochet all the way around. So just check at the end of each round that you do have 36 stitches. Make sure you've got those 36 stitches at the end of every round. Complete those 6 rows and I'll meet you back here to do the next steps. Okay, so at row 23, your little bun should look something like this. And if you're using safety eyes and a safety nose so that you don't have to sew at all, I would recommend putting your safety eyes in between row 20 and row 21. And I'd put them roughly 6 stitches apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So about there. I'd put them in now because we're about to start the decreases and then we'll stuff the head. So if you're using safety eyes, again, this is completely up to you. You might have massive eyes, you might have felt eyes, you might have googly eyes, whatever eyes you're going to use. I'd start putting them in now, and I'd normally put them in between rows 20 and 21 and about 6 stitches apart just to keep them evenly spaced. But again, this bunny is your creation now. You can do what you like with it. You can put them wherever you like. You can buy safety eyes of all different sizes, all different colours, and you can put them as far apart or as close together as you like. This is your bunny. But for anybody that wanted it to look like Stress Less Tess, then I would put them in between rows 20 and 21 and roughly 6 stitches apart. Okay, for those of us that are going to embroider the face, I'll do that once the head is fully created and fully stuffed, and then I'll sit down and show you how to embroider the face. So from here on in, let's keep going. We're about to start a row of decreases. So for row 23, we are doing 4 single crochets and then 1 invisible decrease. And we're going to do that 6 times, and we're going to go from 36 stitches down to 30. So let's start that now. 1, and again, as always, mark that first stitch. 2, 3, and 4, and then decrease, front loop, and back through, and pull through 2. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now our decrease, front loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And let's do our decrease. Front loop, pull that through. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, and decrease. And last one. 1, 2, 3 and 4, with the last 2 stitches being the decrease. Okay, so we should now have 30 stitches, so just count that off and double check your stitch count. So we've got 30 stitches here. So the next round, round 24, will be a round of single crochets all the way around. So let's do that and I'll meet you back here for round 25. For round 25, we're going to go down from 30 stitches down to 24. So that means some more decreases. This time we're going to do 3 single crochet, 1 decrease, and we're going to do that 6 times. So we'll go from 30 stitches down to 24. So let's start row 25. And if you're still with me, you're doing a fantastic job. We don't have much further to go. So here we go. First stitch. That's 1 single crochet. Mark that first stitch. Two. Get out of the way, stitch marker. 2 and 3 and decrease. You know how to do those now, don't you? 1, 2, 3, and another decrease. Front loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. 1, 2, 3, and decrease. Front loop, pull through, pull through. 1, 2, 3, and decrease again. 1, 2, 3, and decrease. 1, 2, 3, and for those final 2 stitches, decrease. Okay, so we've gone from 30 stitches down to 24. So let's just double check that stitch count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, so we've got 24 stitches. For round 26, we now are going to join the ears. So let's get those ears in here. So soft and so fluffy. Oh, beautiful. Love them. Get off there. Bit of fluff, go away. Okay. All right. So once again, we're going to join these the same way we've attached everything else. So the first step is to do 6 single crochets. So let's get those done. So 1, and mark that stitch. There we go. Getting my yarn all organised over here. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now the next 4 stitches, grab that ear, line it up beside the head. And as we did with every other body part, we go through the front of the ear, through that stitch, and then into the next stitch on the body. Just line that up and in through both stitches. Then we finish off our single crochet, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And again through the next stitch and into the next stitch of the body. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Keep that tension tight if you can. Once again, through the ear, through the body, through both. Yarn over, pull through 2. And again, for the final stitch of the ear, through the front of the ear, and then into the body like that. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Just pull that tail of the ear into the middle. Now we're going to do 12 single crochet around to the other side. So continuing in the stitches along the head. That's 1. Oops, lost my tension there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 11, and then 12. Okay. And then we do the next 2 stitches through the ear, coming in from the front, going into the body, pull that through, and again next stitch into the body, pull that through. Now obviously we're back at the start of the round, so we take that stitch marker out and then we continue with the ear, in through the ear, in through the head, yarn over, pull that through, yarn over, pull that through. Okay, mark that stitch because that was the first of the round. And continue on with that final stitch of the ear, in through the ear, in through the head. Pull that through, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we've got that tail from the ear and the tail from the other ear. So once again, we just want to join those 2. Sorry, my hook just fell out. So we just want to secure those 2 tails in the head. Again, don't pull it too tight. You just want to have a nice loose knot there and then secure that knot again. So the knot needs to be tight, but you don't want to pull on the sides of the head because that'll misshape the head. Put those 2 tails in there. Okay. So we've done that, and now we do one invisible decrease. So into the very next stitch, front loop, pull that through, yarn over, pull through 2, and then we do 2 single crochet, 1 invisible decrease, 2 single crochet, 1 invisible decrease until we get back around to where our stitch marker is. So here we go. 1, 2, front loop, decrease, pull through 2, pull through 2, 1, 2, decrease, okay, 1, 2, and decrease, 1, 2, and decrease, and then 1, 2, and the last 2 stitches are a decrease. Okay, so at this point we go ahead and stuff the head, and then we've got one more round after that. And now we're going to stuff the head. So here we go, little bits. Try and get it right down into that neck part there. We want to make sure that the head is nice and firmly attached to the body. Move those little ears out of the way for now. So if you can, get that stuffing in there and then use the back end of your hook and just push it down into that neck space, just so you get a little bit of stuffing in there. You want to make sure that it's nice and firm because you don't want your head sort of flopping around everywhere. Get that stuffing in there and get it right around into each side of the head. You want it to be nice and round. Get that in there. As much in as you can. Again, try not to overstuff if you can, because you don't want to stretch out your beautiful stitches that you've worked so hard on. Just grab some more stuffing. Okay. Turn him over. Let's have a look at this side. Takes a lot of stuffing because it's quite a large head. So just keep pushing it down along the sides there so you can evenly space it out. Okay. And let's keep going. Okay. Let's have another look around the front there. Oh, he's all tied up. Move that yarn out of the way. So it's looking good, but it still needs a little bit more. So let's keep going. Keep pushing it around into the sides. You want all the back and the front to be as evenly spaced out as you can. Okay. Getting closer. Does take quite a bit of stuffing, so just keep shaping that around. Until you're happy with the shape and the firmness of the head. Double check the back. Make sure you check the bottom. Make sure there's enough stuffing in there. Okay, so that's feeling pretty good to me. Just gonna top up the top, just around the ears. There we go, just filling this space around the top there. Okay. Okay, that's feeling pretty good now. All right. Here we go, a little face. So that's feeling quite good now. Just that last bit again up the top there, just to help round it out. There we go. Okay. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that now. It's got a nice little shape. And it's pretty even all the way around. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Okay, so for round 28, we're going to take these stitches from 18 down to 12. So I'll show you how to do that next. Okay, last round, everybody. We're doing so well. Look how far we've come. Okay, last round. So get that hook back in there. And all we're doing for this round is 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, and we're doing that all the way around. So here we go. 1 single crochet, mark that stitch. That's the last time you're going to hear me say that. Okay. 1 decrease, front loop, pull through 2. 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, over, pull through 2. She's holding on to the yarn because she doesn't want me to finish it. All right, 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, 1 single crochet, and 1 decrease, 1 single crochet, and the very last decrease. And pull through. Okay, so now we take out the stitch marker, we leave a bit of a tail here, about 20 centimeters or so, and we cut that off. We pull this through that stitch, and we can get rid of the hook now. So now we thread the tail onto a darning needle. Don't worry, we're not sewing, we are just fastening off and closing up our bunny. So we've got our darning needle good to go. So now what we're doing is we're just picking up the front loops of the 12 stitches we have left. So front loop only, pull that through. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and the 12th one. So we're back where we started. Okay, and then from here we just pull that tight and close up the little bun's head. So just make sure you don't leave any holes at the top there. And then from there we take our thread and just thread it through, just poke it out the side so that's fully closed off, and we just hide the tail by going back in through the same hole we came out of, coming out in another hole down here, go back in through that same hole, and then come out through one of the other holes up here. We're just trying to hide that tail inside the head. So back in through the same hole and come out over here. And once we've done that a few times, maybe once more, poke that through, maybe go out through the back somewhere, come out through here. Come on, darning needle, out you come. So we've pulled that through. We can just cut that off. Make sure you don't cut your ear. Get rid of that now. And then just shape all that around so you're happy with the shape. Just flatten that down a bit. And there you have it. You've now made a stressless test bunny. So if you're going to use safety eyes and a safety nose, so there's absolutely no sewing at all, then you are finished. Have a look at your little bun. It's pretty cute, isn't it? Now don't forget to spam me with pics of your finished bunnies. All of my socials are down in the description underneath the video, so please let me see the pictures of your gorgeous little bunnies. I can't wait to see how they turned out. For anybody else that's still going to stick around to learn to embroider the face, like this one here, I'm going to do that next. So stick around and let's get that started. So to embroider the face, we're going to need our cottons. So we should have some black for the eyes, some white for the highlights, and some pink for the nose. So we're going to start off with the black, and we're going to need about 60 centimeters of cotton. So I use cotton because it doesn't fray as much as acrylic can. Acrylic can be quite fuzzy and it just leaves those little fuzzy marks on the eyes, whereas cotton's a lot clearer and it's a lot more durable, so it works much better. So if you can get your hands on some cotton, it doesn't have to be this particular brand, but any cotton will always look better when you're doing the embroidery for the face. Okay, so let's get that sorted out. And of course, you'll need a darning needle. If you can find a longer one, that's going to work better because we're going to be working through the head. So you're going to need to be able to get through to the other side. So if you have a short darning needle, probably put that aside and use the longer one if you have one. Okay, just thread that onto your darning needle. Okay, just pop that to the side once you've got that ready to go. Now, if you have some pins laying around, they can be quite helpful in just marking out where you're going to be working. So I like to grab a couple of pins and just work out the placement for the eyes. So I'm thinking that we go bottom of the eye there. And we'll go 1, 2, up to the third one and go up to there. So the eyes are going to be about that big. And then we're going to move across one. So that's the original stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe go into the same row across. And 1, 2, so back up to the third. So my eyes are going to be about that big. And then the nose, we want to do just underneath the eyes. So we're going to pop the nose about there. So 1 stitch down, 1 across. And again, 1 stitch down, 1 across. So across there. And then we probably want the bottom of it to go down 2 rows to about there. So that's the middle of that. So my eyes here, my nose in there. Okay. So coming across around on the side, we want to go in through one of the holes between the stitches and come out at the bottom of the first eye. Right where that pin is. And we can move that pin now. And pull that through and just leave a short tail on the outside here, and we'll tie that off later. And then we go in through the top here of the top of the eye and back out through that same hole at the bottom. In and find that same hole. There it is. You can move your pin now and pull that through. So you do need quite a lot of cotton because we're going to be doing both eyes with the same piece of cotton. So if you don't have a long enough piece of yarn to work with, a piece of cotton to work with, maybe make sure you've got, I said 60 centimetres, it could be between 60 to 80. You need a fair bit of cotton because we want the eyes to be quite large. So what we're going to do is to continue to go up through that top one and come out through the bottom stitch and just do that repeatedly. And as you're going, you want to shape the eye. You want it to go around and come out rounder each time you go in, and just build out that shape, that oval round shape, as each time you're going in and out. So in through the top, back out through that same hole in the bottom. Pull that through. You might get some stuffing sticking through. That's okay. We can always trim that later. And just, as I said, shape it to sit beside that first stitch. Now you don't want to pull it too hard, you don't want it too tight, or you're going to squeeze the face in and buckle up the face, and you don't want to do that. You just want it to be quite firm but not tight, if that makes sense. So again, in through the same hole, out through the bottom, and now move it across and lay it down on the right side of that original stitch. Just shape it to sit beside it. And that's how we keep doing this. Lay one on the left and then one on the right, and keep working through until you have one of the eyes. In through that same hole, back out through the bottom again, pull it through, make sure your cotton doesn't get snagged or knotted as you're working. Oop, what's happening here? Ah, there we go, there's a knot. Okay, unpick that. There we go. There we go. And keep pulling that through. Whoops. And again, move it over to the left. Just use your fingers to guide that thread. There we go, sitting on the left. Okay, keep going. Now we go through quite a few times because we want to build that eye up. And just continue to go in through the top and out through the bottom. And just keep using your fingers to guide where you want that thread to go. You see some of the stuffing starting to poke through. That's okay, we'll trim that later. Keep going. Keep pulling that through and keep guiding it with your fingers. So I'm going to keep doing this, and I'll bring you back once I've gotten to the shape that I'd like it to look like, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, so I've gotten the eye to roughly the size that I want it to be. I'm just going to put in my last stitch on the right hand side. When I go in through the top here, I'm going to come out at the bottom of the second eye. So we go in through the top, over to where that second pinhole is at the bottom, and come out there so that we can start the second eye. So we'll just shape this to fit in around on the right side. So that's pretty good. And now we start working the second eye. So again, we go back in through the top, come out at the bottom, and just keep working until we get it to the same size as the one on the right. So keep working in through the top and out through the bottom there. And when you get your eye to the size that you're after, I'll show you what we do from there. So I'll see you back here once the second eye is done, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so we've got them both roughly the same size. Doesn't matter if it's not absolutely perfect, that's okay. My last stitch is now going to go in through the top of the second eye. And when I come out, I want to get as close to this point as possible, because we want the tail to come out at the same point. Now, if you can't do that, if you can't get from here to here, you can put the needle in the top here, come out at the bottom of this eye here, go in through the top, and then come back out at this point because you'll be a lot closer. So let's do that. So we're going in through the top of this eye and coming out at the bottom of that eye. Now I just need to turn this to be able to get to it correctly. There we go. So just remember to shape that last stitch of this eye. There we go. That's in place. So now we'll go in back up to the top of this eye. And we want to come out where the tail is. So find that same hole. There we go. And that's out there. And now all you need to do is trim off that excess and tie a little knot in the side here. Try and turn this over so it's easier to see. Right down as close as you can into the stitches. Alright, that's pretty secure. That's 2. I might do one more just in case. That's 3. Once again, cut off that excess because you don't need it. And then just grab your darning needle and just poke those in, those little tail ends into that hole that you started from. And you just push that through. And then hide those tail ends in under those stitches. Poke it all through. And that just hides where you've started the face from. It hides that tail end. And you can just jiggle those stitches around. That last bit just doesn't want to go in. There we go. All right. And then just fluff those back up again with your darning needle. So you've covered that hole. So there's the first part of the eyes. So from here we need the white cotton and we're going to do the highlights of the eyes next. So just grab about 30 to 40 centimeters, maybe 30 centimeters of your cotton, and we'll do those highlights. So once again, thread that onto your darning needle. And we'll do the same thing as we did before. We'll go in through a different hole. So let's just pick a side over here. Let's say this one here. And go up through the bottom of the eye. You want to go to that same hole if possible. There we go. And once again, make sure to leave that tail over here in the side there. Now we're just going to go around the eye and into the top. And then when we go in the top, we want to pull the needle through about halfway down. So I'll show you what I mean. We want to go in through the top and then come out halfway through. So about there. Pull that up. Make sure you're using your finger just to guide where you want that cotton to go. Again, don't pull it too tightly. You don't want it to buckle everything. You just want it to sit around that colour eye. And then we're going to pull this up and go back in through the top and over to the bottom of the second eye. So in through that top hole, over to the bottom of the second eye. Pull that through. Once again, just try to guide that cotton. And there's your little highlight in your eye, just there. Now, if you need to shape your eye for any reason, if you want it to be rounder or you want to plump up some of those stitches up the top there, you can just get your needle in under those stitches and just give them a bit of a lift and just reposition them as you need to. So just move them around a little bit. until you're happy with the shape. So now we'll do the same thing on the other side. We'll go into the top of the eye and come out halfway down. So in and back out. Guide that cotton around the eye. There we go. So this is just, there we go there, and there we go on this side. So just pull that through a little bit to sit in its place. And then we go back up. And once again, we want to come back out in the same spot. So we go up through the top. And then if you can, across to that same hole. If you can't, you can always come out through the bottom of this eye, the first eye. Make sure you shape that second eye there. So we want that highlight to go straight up the top. There we go. This bit here just doesn't want to sit around like it should. There we go, that's better. Okay, so there's our second eye. And he's just plump this bit up a bit. Okay, beautiful, perfect. Okay, so now back in that same hole that you've just come out of at the bottom of the eye and over to where your tail came out. So we want to go out through that same hole. Don't get your threads caught. You don't want to come out through that loop. You just want to pull the tail through. There we go. So now we've done the eyes. Now we just need to cut off the excess and do the same thing that we did before. Tie the two tails in a knot. And then just cut off the excess again and hide those tails in the stitches like we did before. So just a couple of knots there. Cut off that excess there and use the tail end of your darning needle to just poke that through that hole there, in through that little gap. Hide those tails. All right, can't see those. And once again, just fluff up those little stitches there to hide that hole. And there we go, the eyes are done. Not happy with this one not sitting where it should, but that's okay. Once again, just realign it as you need to. There we go, that's sitting much better. Okay, so next step is the nose. Okay, so just grab your pink cotton and thread that onto your darning needle. You probably need about 60 centimetres or so. And once again, we're going to come in through one of the holes in between the stitches there and come out at the bottom of the nose where this pin is. Okay, pull that pin out and just leave that tail on the side of the head there. Okay, now we're going to go up to the middle of the two pins here. There we go. Go into the middle stitch and then back out through the bottom again. So in and through the bottom. Pull that through. I'm not using any particular stitches to do this. It's just literally in and out through the stitches as we need them. Now we're just going to do that again through that same hole, down through to the bottom again. And just complete that again. Once again, just guide that cotton to where you need it to be. And once more, go back up. And through the bottom. Oops, it's hanging on to it. Okay. Okay, so this time we're going to go back up and in, but we're going to come out on the left-hand side. So in through that same hole and over to where that pin is. You pull that pin out once you've found that hole. Pull that through. And just remember to shape that bottom part of the nose. Beautiful. And now we're going to go across to this pin, and we're going to go back and forth between this pin and this pin. So in through there, back out through that same hole. Can remove the pin now. There we go. Just make sure that guiding stitch sits where you need it to. Again, don't pull it too tight. And just back in through that same hole and back out through the same hole. And we're just going to do this a few times until we've built up the size of the nose to where we want it to be. Okay, keep going. Try to lay the stitches either beside or on top of each other. They just seem to look a bit neater that way. And keep going through that same hole. Just want to sort of evenly space them out if you can. So once again, we don't want them too tight. You don't want them falling off too loosely either, do you? So just try and keep a nice even tension if you can while you're doing this. Can be tricky, I know. I'm not a great sewer. I'm not good at all, which is exactly why I wanted a no-sew amigurumi to make, so that I could make nice gifts for friends and family that I don't have to spend eternity trying to sew together. And I'm hoping that you guys will be able to do the same thing with this pattern. And trust me, the more you embroider this face, the easier it'll get. You'll just remember exactly where to put the needle each time, and you'll be knocking these out really quickly. And I can't wait to see them. They're going to be fantastic. Okay, how are we looking now? Let's have a look. That's looking pretty good. I think the right side just needs a bit of a plump, so let's just plump that up a little bit on that side. Maybe one more stitch across just to finish it off. So I'm going to put one more across here, and then I'm going to come out where the tail is. So we're coming out through that same hole. So in through this hole and over to this one. Just push that through for the final stitch. And then just sit that where it needs to go. Just guide it into place. Okay, so once again, cut off that excess. Tie the little knots into the tails just to keep it secure. 1, 2, and third for good luck. That's 3. Cut off that excess again because you don't need it. Oh, that was quite loud. And once again, just hide that inside those stitches there. Just push it straight through and let those fluffy little polyester stitches cover up all of that so no one can see it. It's all disappeared. Just fluff those stitches back up again so you can't see that there's a hole there. There we go, no holes anywhere. And there's our little bun face. Oh, it's pretty cute. So I hope that was helpful, and I hope you've got a beautiful little bunny staring back at you. Yay, you did it, guys. Well done. You've made a little bun. Oh, I'm so excited. Good on you for sticking around and staying with me. If you got to the end, then you've made a gorgeous little bunny rabbit for yourself. How adorable. I cannot wait to see them. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for sticking with me. I hope you found the tutorial helpful. If you'd like a written copy of the pattern, you can find one at buymeacoffee.com. It's only $2 and every purchase really helps me to keep the channel going and to create new content. Once again, guys, thank you so much for watching. From all of us here at Mel's Yarniverse, we'll see you in the next one. Bye!